Good evening and welcome to another edition of Toronto Weekend. I'm here today with Christian Hernandez, creator of Mind Over Body Music Group and singer as well. So we got a chance to catch up with him today and he's going to give us a little insight as to about himself. So could you tell our viewers?
Thank you for having me. Well, I've been making music ever since I was 14 years old. I've been writing music. I was always a shy kid. I was a really shy kid. I was always nervous to get in front of people. And yeah, so on and so forth. I actually started making music when I was 19. I ended up making music with one of my best friends, Ricky. And yeah, we ended up making music. It was music on and off, more or less. So it was like, yeah, we'd have hits. We'd have so many songs. We used to make so many songs on there. And they were always on SoundCloud. I actually found my old SoundCloud recently. So yeah, there's a bunch of old songs on there. Maybe I could probably recreate them, or anything like that. But yeah, we did that. It was on and off, and you know, girlfriends happen, life happens, work happens, stuff like that. And not till recently, maybe I was like 3 or 4 years ago is when we made MOBMG. We got a bunch of people together. It's at the moment it's an all Salvadorian group. Because everyone is either family or we're just friends with Salvadorian people in there. Not to say that we only want Salvadorian people in that group. I mean, I would love to have anybody in the group. But at the moment, I feel like everyone's in their own little field at the moment, and I just thought that shouldn't stop me from making this track.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Nice. That sounds interesting. So, could you tell me when did you form Mind Over Body Music Group, and how did it come to fruition? What was the process of that?
So the process. Okay, so we used to have a group called. Well, when we first started making music, me and Ricky used to. It was. I've always had the nickname Jefe, and but way back then he would go by the name Cuchito.
Yes.
Because he was such a Salvadorian kid. Then he changed his name. We met somebody that wanted to sign him to a little group of younger performers and so forth. And he had to change his name from Cuchito because I think they were telling him it sounds a little bit too like ghetto, like it sounds, you know what I mean? So he ended up changing it to Ricky.
Okay.
And then so that name stuck with him until now. So he still has that nickname. At that point, when he got Ricky Ray, we started calling ourselves the Ricky Jefe movement, and then it changed from that to the RJ movement. And then years later, we're like, we should change our group name since we have all these other people in our group and stuff. James, my cousin, is actually the person who threw out MOB. He said MOBTO at first, so that was the acronym for Mind Over Body Toronto / Mind Over Body Takeover. So that also formed I remember it was a bunch of friends. We were all eating. It was we were just eating there, and we were like, what should we call this group? And James threw that out, and I was like, I like the whole Mind Over Body thing just because you're using most of your mind when you're making music, right?
Absolutely.
So we went with MOBTO for a while. We did a couple shirts, like, you know, just to see what it looks like on shirts and stuff like that. And then we did MOBMG to make it look more professional, because MOBMG stands for Mind Over Body Music Group. And then we still ended up doing MOBMG and MOBTO. So whenever you see both of those, it's still the same company.
Right.
But yeah, it was until I think 2 years ago where I officially bought everything. So that's my licensed music.
Excellent. That is so exciting. You're able to achieve that. Now, you just recently did a song, Vida De Manera, which loosely translates to My Way of Life. And this being your latest single, how do you find your fans liking it?
Well, I've always had quite a bit of a fan base, mostly friends, really close friends. My mom is really, she used to sing when she was younger, so she had these chances to take in Mexico. Like she had lived in Mexico, and she never really took those chances because it was a hard time at that point in her life. And yeah, she ended up moving to LA, then she moved to Montreal, Washington, like that. That's where they had me. And yeah, growing up, I would listen to her sing all these songs, all these old school songs that are still really big hits today. And I don't know, I guess just that kind of, you know, reflected on me growing up as a kid, a really quiet kid. I was always quiet, just making music to myself. And then just one day I was like, you know what, I think it's my time to do something with this, you know,
it's your time to shine.
Yeah.
That is so nice. It's always so cool. So when you made that song, what was the inspiration behind it?
So there's actually many reasons to the song. The beginning of the song is so when I'm saying después de tomar and so on and so forth. I kind of made it start off like, okay, you're coming from a party where you're drunk or where you're just hungover, but there's some days where you just want to keep working. You know what I mean? So. But sometimes those parties don't have to be at another location or anything like that. It can be at the beach. You can just have a beach day to yourself, or a beach day with people and family, and your friends and family. Back in the day, we had a little group that we used to call La Familia. We used to call each other La Familia. We made shirts. We used to go up to Sabo. I think we did it for like 4 years in a row. So every long weekend in May, we would go up there, we camp, and yeah, we just get a shirt that says La Familia, and that whole. In the chorus it says Somos Familia y de ese acuerdo. I can't even think about it right now, but there's a part at the end of the chorus where it says Somos Familia, so on and so forth. I got that little part from remembering those memories. And second verse is more or less like, okay, it's more of the party verse, and it's more of like it's basically for everyone to get up and party and stuff like that. And then when I produced it, the producer I work with, I told him I want to do like kind of like a little slight house thing, and he threw in this whole little mix at the end of the song, which makes it even more. Yeah.
So from hearing the song, it would be an incredible video if you make it. So when can we expect to see a video?
At the moment, only just because it's really cold outside right now, and it's a really like kind of a beach vibe. I was either trying to go one of two ways. It's either probably wait till summer to make a really nice video, try to get a bunch of people at the beach and stuff like that, or I could probably rent out a big place and then make that perception in a warehouse and make it look like a beach or something like that. But like in my mind it's there, like I know what I want, but at the same time it's just like, okay, where can I go to make it look like together and stuff like that. And I'm also looking into people that do film and stuff like that, so we need to see where that goes as well.
So it's something to definitely look forward to. When were you first approached with music stations? Today we heard you on 100.7 Chin FM Radio, Ondas FM. How did that interview go?
So very nerve-wracking. Very. I was on another radio station years ago, actually down the street from there. Very nerve-wracking. It's just knowing that all these people are listening, and then knowing that whatever I'm saying is everybody's gonna tell me afterward, oh, you said this wrong, you did this wrong, and stuff like that. I just got really nervous. It was real, but really exciting. I love that I was on there, and I just can't wait to have people listen to the song.
That's exciting when you create something out of your own thought process and your hard work, and you see it come to fruition. It's just like you're reaching a goal. What is your goal in 5 years?
My goal in 5 years, hopefully MOBMG is a bit bigger. I was actually looking into getting some sort of like a home, give it a home. And, my original idea was to have a studio and to have a photography and film studio as well. So, because when I first made MOBMG, when we first made it together, that's when Ricky made Cineray Studios, and that's when Manny made Once Maple, and those were supposed to be the three main pillars of this whole thing. But like I said, life happens. There's a lot of things. We're in our own little things at the moment, but I know hopefully one day we can have maybe a home for it, and then it'll be big studio. That's my main goal, and just to keep making more music and hopefully have bigger fan base and so on and so forth.
Well, you keep working hard. Your fan base is going to be very, very huge. Where would you like to have your studio?
One is Toronto, just because Toronto is just a big city, and everyone's. I've been going to a place called Objects. Objects is an open parks concept that they have. They just have this big place where you can make videos and pictures and stuff like that, and just you can hire a room for, I think it's $90 an hour or something like that, and just, I don't know, I just feel like marketing with everybody here and stuff like that, it should, I think a home for MOBMG should be in Toronto and stuff like that. I don't want people traveling really far to different cities just because you want to make just one track, so on and so forth.
Yeah, Toronto does seem to be the hub of all music, of all entertainment. And it's great to see that Toronto is growing. We're coming out with all these amazing artists, such as yourself. And we thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you. We love your music. We wish you much success.
Thank you. Is it okay if I shout out people?
Yes, please do.
Okay. So I want to shout out my parents, my dad, Jose, and my mom, Blanca, my sisters, Crystal, Cindy, and Selena, my brothers-in-law, Pablo and Andrew, Emily at EMBX Marketing, Ricky Ray at Scenery Studios, and Manuelito at Once Maple. For them, I wouldn't have the pictures and the visuals I have now, stuff like that. I do want to shout out Jennifer at Queen Promotions Official and Tony at Hamilton Cobra for giving me sometimes venues to perform at and stuff like that. I do want to shout out Tariq at Revamp Hair Lounge for always making me look like this, always making me look good. And yeah, my super like really super dope fans that are always there, always listening, have been listening for the longest time. Felipe and Jessa, one of my very close friends, Damon. And I do want to give a huge thank to the community for getting together and holding stuff together down. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.